All right, let's roll. It's presented by Town Fair Tire. Mike, it was a scary night, and I mean scary for the rest of the league, is what I think.
Exactly. That's what it is. You know, what's the story of this game? Depth. Just having more than you do. I mean, think about it. You don't have Marcus Smart after a great game against Oklahoma City. You don't have Malcolm Brogdon again. And you don't really have Jason Tatum on his game. As a matter of fact, you don't have Jaylen Brown on his game. And what do you get? You get Derek White and Grant Williams and Peyton Pritchard and your favorite player, Sam Hauser, getting it done. Like, if they have their full team, Atlanta was supposed to. They made a big trade in the offseason. They're supposed to be making a move. This is a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago, and the Celtics made them look like a team that is just a borderline playoff team. It was really impressive.
I mean, they're just a wagon, and they just absolutely showed out tonight. But it was a night for the guys that I call the mascots.
Yeah.
The guys that get in with 5 minutes left in a blowout, and there's Sam Hauser. Do you know that Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, and Peyton Pritchard, because he's one of those guys too, I'm sorry, a combined 17 of 21 from the field, 10 of 13 from three. That's 90-something%. So it's like, the thing is, it's kind of sustainable. I mean, not 90%, but Hauser and Pritchard can shoot. And if you leave them open, they're going to hit. Hauser's going to hit. I mean, there's no question about that. But that is unconscious. If this were game one of the NBA Finals, Draymond Green would be up there at the podium saying, Luke Cornett, okay, Peyton Pritchard, okay, let's see them do it again. But that's just where the Celtics are going right now.
And they did it on the road, too. So this is one of those games. You tell me, you're up by, this is a Geno game at the Garden. You're up by 20, 6 minutes to go in a game, or 3 minutes to go in a game. You get the home crowd is going crazy, and those guys show out at home. When they start doing it on the road against a good team, you said it off the top. Hey, watch out for the rest of the Eastern Conference. They have the best record in the league, and it's not a fluke.
Let's take a look at the offensive numbers here for the Celtics. They're first in scoring. They're third in field goal percentage. The three-point percentage, they're just an excellent three-point shooting team. Three-point percentage is fourth in the league, and they're first in turnovers per game. So they've cleaned that thing up. That was a big thing last year, obviously, in the playoffs. I found it interesting, Mike, that, it was a shared game, so there was a national broadcast here, and I sort of flipped between the two. And in the first half, Scal was commentating on Atlanta and the way they play, way they play with the mid-range two-pointers. He says, you can't live in the NBA shooting two-pointers like that. The game's a three-point game. Look at the Celtics, their efficiency from three versus the efficiency from two. The math doesn't add up.
Right.
You can't play that way in the NBA with the two-pointers. I think on ESPN, and Doris Burke is complaining about the Celtics shooting too many threes. They've gone through a little bit of a dry spell between Tatum and Brown, mostly missing deep threes. And Doris is like, boy, you just can't live with the three. And you know what? Scal's right and Doris is wrong.
Right.
I know it's just taken a long time for everyone to catch up to this, but those are the analytics, and they're right. The nerds are usually right. You got to be able to shoot a lot of threes. You got to be able to hit the three ball. It's like the key to the NBA now. The Celtics got it a long time ago, and the teams that don't get it they just can't keep up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just the evolution of the game. And, some of the old school folks, like 20 years ago, thought this was terrible. If you were over 6'7", 6'8", 20 years ago, and you took a bunch of threes, people thought you were wasting your height and you should go down there, go in the paint, and the lost art of the mid-range game. But it's not like that anymore. You can't. Scal's right. You cannot win a game if you just got a bunch of really efficient, good, well-schooled two-point shooting basketball players. You can't win that way.
It's a mid-range where you're not really going to the line. So, like, the modern game is the three-pointer or drive and try and get to the line, or drive and kick. That's it. You pull up for the two, and you only hit 49%, you're going to lose to a team that hits from three because those mid-range twos aren't getting – it's too bad, because I find it refreshing when someone stops and pops at the elbow. It's like, oh, yeah, you can still do that. It's just that's not the right way to play anymore.
You want to be afraid? You know who was way ahead of – two people who were way ahead of the curve on this. Execution was a little shaky, but way ahead of the curve. Antoine Walker.
Rick Pitino.
No, Jim O'Brien, more than Pitino.
Was it O'Brien that had
Jim O'Brien, they just say, hey, go ahead, Paul, Antoine, go ahead, shoot threes. Now they were making like 30%, but he was like, shoot threes. And Antoine, and they once asked him, why do you take so many threes? You know what he said? Because I can't take fours.